Good afternoon. My name is David Wannenberg, and I'm the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Transportation Policy at the Department. Thank you for taking time to join us today to hear about the Department's National Freight Strategic Plan. We have an exciting event, including remarks from Secretary Elaine Chao, Acting Undersecretary Joel Zabat, the Department's modal administrators, and Missouri Department of Transportation Director Patrick McKenna. We hope that this event will be informative and continue discussion about the state of our nation's freight system in tangible ways we will work together to make it more efficient. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Secretary Elaine L. Chao for her opening remarks. Madam Secretary.
Every day, our nation's transportation network moves more than 51 million tons of freight products, valued at nearly $52 billion in 2018. This system helps drive economic growth and touches the lives of every American. That's why today, the U.S. Department of Transportation is unveiling the first ever National Freight Strategic Plan. This plan establishes a clear vision for the future of our nation's freight transportation system. And it outlines how the United States can maintain our competitive edge across major industries like agriculture, manufacturing, energy production, and e-commerce. Our current freight system faces significant challenges. The rise of e-commerce has disrupted our supply chains and increased demand for last-mile deliveries in areas that are already heavily congested. And the United States has become a net energy exporter for the first time in decades. And this has far-reaching multimodal implications. In addition, innovative technologies have the potential to disrupt our transportation network even further. From automated delivery vehicles on our roads and highways to drones in our skies, fulfilling some of these last-mile deliveries. Our country's economic security depends upon ensuring that our roads and highways, railroads, maritime systems, and pipelines can adapt to innovative technologies and changing freight demand. And that requires leadership at all levels of government. This National Freight Strategic Plan will help us invest strategically in our country's future and turn these challenges into opportunities. Thanks so much for your attention.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. As you noted, our freight system faces many challenges, but there are also great opportunities to improve the safety and efficiency of our nation's freight system. I would like to now introduce Acting Undersecretary Joel Zabat, who will describe the vision and strategic goals established by the National Freight Strategic Plan to address these challenges and the importance of this plan going forward.
2015, as part of the FAST Act, Congress included a provision requiring the department to develop a National Freight Strategic Plan to develop a vision and goals for a national multimodal freight system. Today, DOT is releasing this first ever multimodal plan to help guide transportation leaders across both the public and private sectors as we confront the freight challenges of today and the future. DOT hosted or participated in 13 events, connecting directly with hundreds of participants, and we received 82 formal comments to our request for information, seeking input to inform the plan's development. As Secretary Chao said, our current freight system faces significant challenges, including the rise of e-commerce and the multimodal implications of becoming a net energy exporter. We can add to that the resiliency challenges from weather events, such as Hurricane Laura, which Texas and Louisiana are now recovering from. Finally, the coronavirus will drive long-term changes in how Americans travel and do business, and therefore drive changes in our future transportation infrastructure as well. We don't yet know what the new normal will look like once we recover from the coronavirus. But based on our research and conversations with freight stakeholders across the country, several key trends and common concerns emerge. E-commerce is clearly a major trend that is leading to rapid changes in supply chains, increasing demand for air cargo, residential deliveries, and reverse logistics. And we have seen during the COVID-19 pandemic how important e-commerce has been for millions of Americans to receive essential goods while minimizing physical interaction. Critical freight corridors run through both urban and rural areas, and inefficiency at any point on those corridors affects the overall freight system. We can't just focus on one or the other. While many stakeholders are concerned about how we prioritize funding to improve the efficiency of the national freight system, others have voiced concerns about how we manage the local community impacts of freight, such as traffic, noise, and air pollution. In addition, whether they help to improve resilience, efficiency, competitiveness, or otherwise, advancing technologies and innovations also are transforming how freight is delivered. To keep up, our workforce must obtain the skills needed to meet these exciting opportunities. Finally, freight planners at all levels of government rely on data to make informed decisions about infrastructure investment. Improving access to timely, consistent, and actionable freight data is a major priority for this administration. So today, the department outlines the following vision for freight transportation. The freight transportation system of the United States will strengthen our economic competitiveness with safe and reliable supply chains that efficiently and seamlessly connect producers, shippers, and consumers in both domestic and foreign markets. To accomplish this vision, the department has identified the following goals. First, improve the safety, security, and resilience of the national freight system. Modernize freight infrastructure and operations to grow the economy, increase competitiveness, and improve quality of life. And prepare for the future by supporting the development of data, technologies, and workforce capabilities that improve freight system performance. This plan establishes federal priorities and goal areas and provides a resource for states as they update their own state strategic plans. This plan is meant to guide future freight funding decisions at all levels of government, such as federal grant programs. In addition, the National Freight Strategic Plan recognizes the unique needs of rural and urban areas. It complements the Routes Initiative, which seeks to address disparities in rural transportation infrastructure that is often critical for freight movement, particularly agriculture, mining, and energy commodities. Finally, we also anticipate issuing the Multimodal Freight Network later this year. Also required by the FAST Act, we expect that this network will help decision makers further improve future investments in our freight system. In closing, I want to thank all of you for your interest in learning more about the department's National Freight Strategic Plan. We look forward to continuing to work with you all as we strive to improve the safety and efficiency of our nation's multimodal freight systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Undersecretary Zabat. As you and the Secretary noted, a major theme of our announcement is the importance of working collaboratively with all of our mutual stakeholders, both public and private, to meeting the challenges our freight system faces. This plan establishes federal priorities and goals that can help freight planning at all levels of government and guide freight infrastructure investment. We will next hear from several of the department's modal administrators who will talk about how the NFSP affects and complements the ongoing work of their modes of transportation. First, we will hear from the Federal Highway Administration's Administrator, Nicole R. Nason.
Hello. As Federal Highway Administrator, I'm so pleased to join U.S. Transportation Secretary Elaine L. Chao and all of you today to unveil the department's National Freight Strategic Plan. We all share the same vision of a strong transportation system to strengthen America's economy and keep us competitive with markets around the world. We all want to use new technologies to address the nation's growing travel demands. We want to prepare the nation for new challenges and new opportunities. And the time to plan for that future is now. Today, trucks carry 73% of all domestic freight by value. This means that most goods in our country are moved on roads and bridges. Freight movement is often intermodal. Even if airports, seaports, or railroads are involved, trucks are still needed to move those products to their final destinations. A reliable and efficient highway system is key to business success and workforce productivity. We have a variety of strategies: infrastructure improvements and operational, technological, and multimodal solutions, which all hold great promise. Proper planning for the growth and change in freight movement at state and local levels is more critical than ever. The Federal Highway Administration believes in the value of multimodal state freight plans to analyze freight infrastructure needs and prioritize investments. At FHWA, we will keep supporting states as they begin updating their next set of 5-year comprehensive freight plans, and we will continue to encourage collaboration with state freight advisory committees. This is an exciting time for transportation, with new technologies that are already revolutionizing freight movement. Today's truckers benefit from information about border wait times and safe truck parking availability, as well as improved electronic routing and permitting systems and weigh-in motion scales. But there's so much more on the horizon. With the development of automated vehicles, America has the potential to increase the safety, productivity, and efficiency of freight transportation. Connected technologies can enable data collection on system use and conditions, which can be used to improve supply chain management and maximize business investments. Wireless connectivity holds the promise of improved freight tracking and supply chain optimization. Leadership at all levels of government will be needed to bring these new technologies online. Transportation is a team effort, after all. The National Freight Strategic Plan provides federal leadership, which is a great first step. Together with our transportation stakeholders, we will strengthen and modernize roads and bridges. We will improve data and analysis and promote operational solutions to ensure our nation's prosperity for decades to come. This plan wasn't created by USDOT alone. All of you have been our partners from the beginning, and your feedback and comments have been essential in bringing this to life. Thank you for all the time and effort you've contributed, and for sharing our belief that a safer, more efficient, and cost-effective freight network is possible. As this plan makes clear, a better tomorrow begins right now.
Thank you, Administrator Nason. As you noted, highways are a critical link in our freight network, providing those first and last miles and allowing for the multimodal system to work efficiently. Next, we will hear from the Federal Railroad Administration's Deputy Administrator, Quentin Kendall.
The National Freight Strategic Plan helps to highlight the critical role that rail plays in our integrated multimodal freight transportation system and underscores the safety and environmental benefits that rail provides to the American public. Class 1 and short-line railroads are critical links connecting rural production areas to major metropolitan areas and our nation's largest ports, thereby supporting American exports and millions of well-paying jobs. And while the rail industry has been healthy in recent years, there are still key areas where the department, through the National Freight Strategic Plan, can focus its efforts to improve the strategic goals of safety, infrastructure, and innovation. In particular, improving highway rail grade crossing safety is a major departmental priority, and the National Freight Strategic Plan can help to coordinate and target freight investments that reduce conflicts and improve safety at grade crossings. Finally, the National Freight Strategic Plan is an important resource for states as they update their freight plans and rail plans. We look forward to continuing to engage with our stakeholders to improve the safety and efficiency of our nation's rail network and its connections to the larger multimodal freight system.
Thank you, Deputy Administrator Kendall. Improving safety is a top priority at the department, and I know that safety at highway rail grade crossings is a major focus for the Federal Railroad Administration. Safety is also a major area of focus for our next speaker, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Acting Administrator, Wiley Deck.
Thanks for that kind introduction, Dave. I'd also like to thank Secretary Chao for inviting me this afternoon to say a few words about the National Freight Strategic Plan. Under Secretary Chao's leadership, this effort will serve as a foundation to bolster our transportation network to safely move people and freight. Our freight system is interrelated and multimodal, moving millions of tons of freight every day. In fact, freight shipments are expected to increase by more than 22% over the next 20 years. The commercial motor vehicle industry plays a key role. The trucking industry, for example, moves 73% of domestic freight and employs 3.5 million drivers. With so much on the line, we must continue making sure our freight system remains resilient. Focused attention on the freight system is especially urgent in light of supply chain challenges caused by the recent pandemic. Over the past few months, all Americans have seen what we at FMCSA have known all along. Truckers are American heroes. During this pandemic, FMCSA took unprecedented actions to mitigate disruptions and secure America's supply chain. For example, we issued the first ever national emergency declaration to provide regulatory relief for commercial vehicle drivers assisting in the emergency effort. FMCSA also worked to keep rest stops and truck parking open. And by working with our state safety partners, we helped deliver more than 3 million protective face coverings to commercial vehicle drivers around this nation. FMCSA also made other important strides to craft more efficient and effective rules to promote safety, reduce regulatory burdens, and strengthen the motor carrier industry while keeping the freight moving. Recently, the agency completed a final rule to update the hours of service regulations, which we believe will improve safety and increase flexibility for commercial vehicle drivers. With these adjustments, drivers can get the rest they need when they need it, and will help them stay in compliance with safety rules. These are just a few examples of the problem-solving actions the agency has taken, the type of actions that Americans expect during these uncertain times. But to continue moving forward, we need a holistic plan for our freight system. The National Freight Strategic Plan is such a plan. It outlines a bold vision that balances economic growth while improving safety and efficiency. It lays out principles and goals to guide the strategic federal role in freight, and it highlights ways to improve the freight system performance. Again, I'd like to thank Secretary Chao for crafting this innovative strategy to guide the department's freight policy and activities. FMCSA stands ready to help advance the plan's visions and goals while continuing our mission to keep our roads, drivers, and nation safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Administrator Deck. Modernizing existing regulations that inhibit supply chains while protecting safety and environmental outcomes is a major priority, and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has been doing a great job in this area. Next, we will hear from the Maritime Administration's Administrator, Mark H. Busby.
Thank you, David. Land and air freight are familiar to most Americans. Less visible, but also critically important for our economy and trade, is cargo that moves on the water, both internationally and domestically. About 90% of everything we buy moved on a ship at some point, from new cars and crude oil to personal computers and the food on our tables. Here at home, on our domestic waters, we'd like to see more cargoes move off of our congested, overtaxed roads and onto our navigable inland and coastal waterways. America's inland waterway system comprises approximately 25,000 miles of navigable inland and coastal waterways. To mitigate landside freight bottlenecks, MARAD has designated 26 marine highway routes that can provide a more efficient, more environmentally friendly method of moving cargoes than overland routes. The inland waterway system already carries large volumes of bulk commodities such as agricultural products and raw materials over long distances. They are of vital importance to numerous industries. In 2018, nearly 2.5 billion tons of commodities moved on our nation's inland, Great Lakes, and coastal waterways. Under the leadership of Secretary Elaine L. Chao, MARAD believes we can do even more to make good use of these waterways, to reduce road congestion and related pollution, and to help support the U.S. maritime industry and the hundreds of thousands of working Americans who rely on good-paying industry jobs at sea and ashore. To that end, the agency regularly provides grants for projects through America's Marine Highway Program. Since 2016, the Maritime Administration has provided $33.8 million worth of these grants. We're seeing tremendous innovation in this area, particularly in the Mid and North Atlantic regions. One of our earliest funded projects, the M64 Express connecting Hampton Roads and Richmond, Virginia, has since 2016 moved more than 225,000 20-foot equivalent units on more than 600 barge trips. This service alone has replaced over 113,000 truck trips, more than 10.6 million truck miles in a 4-year period, and saved $3 million in road maintenance while cutting emissions in half. The more efficiently America moves cargoes, the better it is for America's economy and the American worker. We're proud to be doing our part at MARAD by encouraging the use of America's marine highways. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Busby. Our nation's ports and marine highways are major generators and critical for our economic competitiveness. Next, we will hear from the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration's Administrator, Skip Elliott.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you, Deputy Assistant Secretary of Policy, David Wannenberg, for that very kind introduction. I'm honored to be one of the speakers to announce DOT's National Freight Strategic Plan. Not only does this plan help to move the transportation and energy sectors in the right direction, this plan also serves as a strategic roadmap on how we'll do it. The mission of the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, PHMSA, is to protect people and the environment by advancing the safe transportation of energy products and other hazardous materials that are essential to our daily lives. Pipelines are the dominant mode of transportation for liquid and natural gas energy resources, and I'm proud to say that pipelines are the safest and most efficient way to move energy products. As forecasted in the Freight Strategic Plan in 2020, 55% of energy commodities will move via pipelines. Where pipeline capacity is unavailable, energy shippers rely on shipments by trains, trucks, and barges. America's energy production and capacity is soaring. More than 10 years ago, the United States was looking to import domestic gas due to a depletion of capacity. Today, due to the shale revolution, our country has become a major exporter of natural gas. This is an amazing accomplishment as we strive to ensure safety. The growth of energy production in new regions, such as the Permian Basin, and increasing fuel exports places new demands on the nation's pipeline system. To safely and efficiently move these resources to market, the energy industry is constructing new pipelines and reconfiguring existing pipeline systems. PHMSA supports the safe modernization and expansion of pipeline infrastructure through strategic policy making. Over the last 4 years, PHMSA's updated regulations to account for newer technologies, supported the President's regulatory reform agenda, and supported pipeline operators by helping them place resources where they're most effective for safety. As the Department of Transportation executes the National Strategic Freight Plan, PHMSA stands ready to assist by providing technical solutions that will improve pipeline safety, reduce the environmental impact of failures, and enhance the reliability of the nation's pipeline transportation system. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today.
Thank you, Administrator Elliott. Our nation's increased domestic energy production provides economic security and ensures Americans have ready access to cheaper fuel. PHMSA's role in promoting safety by supporting pipeline operators is vital as we continue to move this increased domestic energy supply to where it's needed most, whether domestic or abroad. Finally, we will hear from the Federal Aviation Administration's Administrator, Steve Dixon.
With the launch of the new U.S. DOT National Freight Strategic Plan, Secretary Chao is putting a laser focus on the safety, infrastructure, and innovation of this vital and growing sector. Her plan calls for modernizing, eliminating inefficiencies, increasing resilience, and accommodating shifting trends in freight movement to make sure that we keep our competitive edge. This is vitally important for aviation because when the world wants to move high-value freight in a hurry, it looks to the sky. Now, whether that precious cargo is jetting halfway across the globe in a jumbo Boeing 747 or darting just across town on a 25-pound electric cargo drone, we at the FAA make sure it can get to its destination safely and efficiently, regardless of what might be going on in the world. We saw this in early April when air traffic controllers at the Memphis Air Route Traffic Control Center successfully created an air bridge one night to keep 9 inbound FedEx aircraft filled with supplies that were needed for response to COVID-19 on schedule, while we took the facility offline for a deep clean to protect controllers. By transferring the control of the aircraft to adjacent air traffic facilities, we got the inbound aircraft to Memphis on time. Combined, these planes were carrying almost 350,000 pounds of medical cargo, including 118,000 pounds of personal protective equipment to help keep our frontline healthcare workers safe. And we also saw the FAA leaning forward for freight this spring when we cleared drones to assist in the COVID-19 response. We used every tool at our disposal, including existing regulations, emergency procedures, and special approvals. In one case, UPS Flight Forward, an FAA-approved drone air carrier, delivered prescriptions to a retirement community in Florida and medical supplies in North Carolina, keeping recipients safe from COVID-19. Another drone carrier, Wing Aviation, boosted its contactless deliveries in Virginia and even lofted library books to homebound students. Through our ongoing test programs, we're also seeing how drones can help other transportation modes, including rail. BNSF Railway, for example, has become a technology leader in using drones to conduct remote track inspections. Drones make these activities quicker and more accurate. Now, the National Freight Strategic Plan supports and amplifies innovative new ideas like these and dovetails with our plans for modernizing the national airspace system. With a modernized system, FAA employees have more and better data to track, separate, and manage aircraft, as well as predict their future location. Aircraft operators, including air cargo carriers, will have options for shorter, more direct routes. We're also integrating new entrants that will benefit the cargo community, including highly automated delivery drones and, in the future, advanced air mobility vehicles. Think of flying delivery trucks with eventually the drivers working from home. Although this might sound a bit far-fetched, it's not. This future is right around the corner, and efforts like the National Freight Strategic Plan will help get us there. I thank Secretary Chao for her leadership in this effort, and I look forward to working with our sister agencies in the department to build a better freight future for this nation.
Thank you, Administrator Dixon. Our aviation system is a critical component to our freight system, moving high-value freight quickly to its final destination. The advent of new technology, such as drones, promises to revolutionize our freight system, both in how freight is delivered and how our freight system assets are monitored and maintained. I'd like to thank all of the Mobile administrators for joining us today. We'll now hear remarks from one of our key partners at the state level, Missouri Department of Transportation Director Patrick K. McKenna. Director McKenna is also the 2020 President of the American Association of State Highways and Transportation Officials, or AASHTO.
Hello, I'm Patrick McKenna, Director of the Missouri Department of Transportation and the 2020 President of the American Association of State Highways and Transportation Officials, AASHTO. I am so pleased to join with the United States Department of Transportation as they announce the first ever National Freight Strategic Plan. It's the latest effort by the department and administration to strengthen America's economic competitiveness. The plan lays out a vision for long-term investments in infrastructure, the workforce, and other essential parts of the freight system. Every day, America's transportation network moves more than 51 million tons of freight and energy products valued at nearly $52 billion via highways, railways, ports and inland waterways, pipelines, and airports. The growth in freight demand due to the growth of e-commerce and global supply chains in recent years has strained our freight system and could threaten the competitive advantage of American businesses. As these supply chains continue to spread across the globe, America's ability to compete could be limited by inadequate infrastructure and a lack of preparation for innovative technologies. Here in Missouri, our multimodal freight system is an essential part of the economy and supports the movement of trucks, trains, barges, and planes as they transport more than 1 billion tons of freight valued at more than $1.2 trillion per year, including essential national and international food supplies. Freight is key to Missouri's economic prosperity because freight is the economy in motion. Building on the state freight plans developed by every state, the National Freight Strategic Plan provides a clear path to improve the safety, security, and resilience of the national freight system. It also details how to modernize freight infrastructure and operations to grow the economy and increase competitiveness. Additionally, the plan prepares for the future by supporting the development of data, technologies, and workforce capabilities that improve freight system performance. The members of AASHTO recognize the significance of the National Freight Strategic Plan as a vital resource toward moving our nation's transportation network into the 21st century. Investments following the path laid out in this plan will revitalize our national transportation network and provide economic and safety benefits to every segment of our economy and every region of the nation. Our thanks to Secretary Chao and the entire team at the USDOT for their leadership and effort necessary to produce this roadmap to the future.
Thank you, Director McKenna. We greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us this afternoon. You and your fellow transportation directors and commissioners of the other state departments of transportation are major partners in ensuring our transportation system is able to meet the freight demands of today and the future. And we look forward to continuing our partnership with you as we implement this freight strategic plan. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for sticking with us here as we release the first ever multimodal national freight strategic plan. As you've heard from the Secretary and other departmental leaders, freight movement is vital to our nation's economic health and growth, with millions of jobs depending on a safe and efficient freight system. However, there are many challenges the system faces, whether it's our aging infrastructure or the extreme events that disrupt freight movements, such as Hurricane Laura in the Gulf Coast last week. The vision set forth today and the strategic goals of safety, infrastructure, innovation point to where the department is headed as we look to confront and address our mutual freight challenges. Importantly, the U.S. Department of Transportation cannot do this alone. Through the plan, we've identified a framework for the future, and we will depend upon those who use the freight system to help us continually implement it. We'll continue to work with and rely on our partners from states and local governments, railroads, ports and port authorities, airports, air cargo carriers, pipeline owners and operators, and trucking companies. Also critical to the freight equation are our nation's producers and shippers, and all the workers who stitch it all together to improve our freight system with the dedicated eye on strengthening our economic competitiveness in domestic and foreign markets. Within each of our strategic goals are ripe opportunities for partnership to achieve these goals. For safety, we'll continue to work with the states, local governments, and trucking companies to improve the safety and security of truck parking locations. And we'll continue to engage with states, technology companies, and others to support the development and adoption of automation, connectivity, and other freight safety technologies. For our goal on infrastructure, we'll work with the states, cargo carriers, and shippers to identify significant freight bottlenecks in order to target investments in infrastructure and operations to increase efficiency. And we look forward to working further with ports and short-line railroads to ensure adequate first and last mile connections to the entire freight system. On the innovation front, the plan identifies for the first time a freight data strategy to improve the quality and availability of usable data to assist freight planners at all levels of government. And we'll engage with stakeholders through the TRB to promote continued research into freight trends and data. And we'll work with stakeholders to support development, adoption, and deployment in a technology-neutral fashion of technologies that will improve freight efficiency, including V2X and unmanned aircraft systems. We envision that today's release of the National Freight Strategic Plan will kickstart an ongoing dialogue encompassing the multimodal interests involved in freight movement. We appreciate greatly the willingness of all of our partners that worked with us over the past year, helping to develop this plan. Without your feedback and the work of the states in crafting the state freight plans, this effort would not have been as robust and focused. We know that the freight system is constantly evolving, and often supply chains are adjusting in real time, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic and in response to natural events. Our freight system is likely to look markedly different in 5 years when the department updates this plan. We will rely on and welcome your continued engagement to ensure our national freight strategies remain connected to the needs and priorities of our freight system. We would love to hear your thoughts and engage with you to consider new ideas and ways to improve the safety and efficiency of our freight system. Please feel free to contact us via our dedicated freight email address at freight@dot.gov. This concludes our event. I wish to thank Secretary Chao for her leadership and for sharing her time with us today. I also thank Acting Undersecretary Zabat and our operating administration leadership for their time and attention in producing this effort. We also appreciate Missouri Department of Transportation Director Patrick McKenna for sharing his observations with us this afternoon. We thank you again for joining us and look forward to remaining engaged with you moving ahead. Thank you.